like us who live here don't know much about it. You are there on the ground, you know more. My impression is that, as you just also said, that this traditional Hurriyat, separatist, non-separatist leadership lost their credibility, and they, I believe, lost it long time ago. In the absence of any centralized leadership, what do you see when you go there and you talk to people during these quiet years, 2004-05, what emerged there? You used the word tactical. So that kind of implies that there is something there that using this tactic. So what is it? Is that some kind of mushrooming, a new leadership emerging? What do you see happening? Now it's a quiet time, but I am going to just add this and then I'll stop. That as you thought that this has not ended and it erupted in 2008 and 2010 again, I believe that it's going to erupt again, and it's going to happen not very far into the future, but maybe, as soon as this whole area where the US is wrapping up.
Yes.
They are not leaving, they are wrapping up, cutting down the military operation as they did in Iraq. At the same time, they are talking with lots of those elements that were there in 95, 96, 97. Pakistan military is very clear that they want somehow to keep that clientele type of regime there. They will try, and there is a tussle right now. So if that happens, I believe that it will erupt again in a different manner. But barring that, we don't know much about it. What do you see on the ground? What do you see out of this new leadership, these young people that is happening? What do you see happening?
See, firstly, I think that a small anecdote. I was once interviewing a person. Actually, he's in the film. You haven't seen that part. A very venerable figure in the movement called Azam Inqilabi, who at one time was actually the first chairman of the United Jihad Council, which was the apex body of all militants. And he was in conversation. He told me, he said, well, then in 1990. Weapons arrived. Weapons don't fall off trees. They come from somewhere, and they came from Pakistan. They're not like apples, he said to me. They don't grow on trees. So later in the conversation, I said to him, so what happened to those weapons? I mean, after all, you said that there were 35,000 armed militants. What happened to those weapons? Not all the weapons were captured. Where are they? So he said, that's true. Weapons like apples don't rot. Unlike apples, don't rot. So they are there somewhere. So he said, so are the men. I mean, not all those 35,000 people died, So where are they? Some of them are school teachers, some of them are bankers, some of them are accountants, some of them are trade in handicrafts. We don't know who they are, Some of them may have totally given up on the life of politics. Many of them haven't, So when 100,000 people come out onto the streets, you would know, anybody who's in politics knows what it takes to get 50 people on a street corner,
50 people.
Yeah, or into this room. Or to have a hartal, like a protest, a shutdown. When Shupian town protests the rape and murder of 2 women, and for 47 days a prosperous town remains shut. You can be sure there's some organizational structure. Or in 2010, if over 4 months there's a calendar of protests, and when people say shut down, it's shut down. So who are the people? Obviously there are people. It's not like a party, it's not like some centralized structure, but there is a depth of people who are invisible, who are smart, who are politically schooled, and who have popular support. Because I don't believe you can achieve any of this otherwise. I mean, at the end of the day, only 112 young boys died, and some women, of course, died in the summer. That's also because there's a certain discipline, you know, like they come out, but at some point they are withdrawn, you know, there's a... So, without buying into the government of India's paranoid thesis that this is controlled by Pakistan or ISI or whatever, there is obviously, I mean, I don't know who they are, frankly. I just know that I have been going to Kashmir enough and watching these phenomena to know there is a leadership. And a leadership which is not at all, you know, it's quite sophisticated, which reads everything that even I write.